Genesis 15. After these things, the Lord's message came to Abram in a vision. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield, and the one who will reward you in great abundance. But Abram said, O sovereign Lord, what will you give me, since I continue to be childless, and my heir is Eliezer of Damascus? Abram said, Since you have not given me a descendant, then look, one born in my house will be my heir. But look, the Lord's message came to him. This man will not be your heir, but instead a son who comes from your own body will be your heir. The Lord took him outside and said, Gaze into the sky and count the stars, if you are able to count them. Then he said to him, So will your descendants be. Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord credited it to him as righteousness. The Lord said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you the land to possess. But Abram said, O sovereign Lord, by what can I know that I am to possess it? The Lord said to Abram, Take for me a heifer, a goat, and a ram, each 3 years old, along with a dove and a young pigeon. So Abram took all these for him, and then cut them into two, and placed each half opposite the other. But he did not cut the birds in half. When the birds of prey came down on their carcasses, Abram drove them away. When the sun went down, Abram fell sound asleep, and great terror overwhelmed him. Then the Lord said to Abram, Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign country. They will be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. But I will execute judgment on the nation that they will serve. Afterwards they will come out with many possessions. But as for you, you will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation, your descendants will return here after the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached it. For the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its limit. When the sun has gone down and it is dark, a smoking pot with flaming torch passed between the animal parts. That day the Lord made a covenant with Abram. To your descendants I give this land from the river of Egypt to the great river the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites. All right, So we have a really weird encounter here. So Abram has a vision from the Lord. I'm going to be your shield. I'm going to be your sovereign. And Abram is asking, I have no kid. Eliezer of Damascus is going to be my heir. So maybe he knew that or planned that all along. Maybe there was no plan for Lot to be the heir at all, the heir apparent. Or maybe it was a decision made when Lot was sent away. Let's get anything in chat. Yeah. Eliezer is his heir. Then Lot clearly is not Picasso. Yeah, that's what I'm just saying there. Is this a thought before Lot goes away, or is it a thought because Lot went away? Oh, and we did have, bringing out the stars were seen as angelic bodies and seen to be gods. So saying his seeds would be like them is saying he'll be like the gods is numerous as the spiritual realm. Will be a way of saying that. As numerous as the spiritual realm. Thank you for bringing that out, Picasso. The stars, the spiritual realm, we had in the previous chapter as numerous as the dust. Dust represents man. So you will be as numerous as the dust of the ground. You are the descendants of the dust of the ground. But you also, so Abraham's descendants will be as numerous as the heavenly host and as numerous as the earthly host. One reason. Also, if Lot never left, his wife and his son-in-law would have lived longer because they would have never been near Sodom. Well, his son-in-laws wouldn't be there because they would be different son-in-laws. But point still taken. Picasso, Lot didn't need to enter Sodom. He did this by his own choice. Originally, he just went in that direction, and he inched closer and closer until, we don't fully know the reason or the rationale why he ends up there. Okay, one reason, right. And all started, here's the story of a man named Abram. Okay, it all started when he first left Abraham. Yeah, Lot's downfall. Picasso, they will, as many as dust of the ground, they will be as numerous as stars. Yeah. So we have here, is this at least the third time that this is reiterated? Each time God reinforces it, each time God adds to it when he is telling Abram. Now Abram is asking clarification. How will this happen? I don't have an heir. God says you will have an heir. Now, I would think the assumption should be that you will have an heir and you already have a wife. So that's where the heir will come from. They will later figure out, wait, God didn't specify that the heir would come from Sarai, only said Abram. So they try to figure this out. Instead of, let's go back to God, let's ask him for clarification. But we have the numerous nature of it, and then we have this, which seems really weird and counter, but it seems to be the way that you would ratify treaties in the ancient world. You would take a bunch of animals, you split them in half, and the party walks between the two of them. And so what you were essentially saying is, may what's happened to these animals happen to me if I break my covenant. This is the result that should happen to me as it happened to them, that I break my covenant. So we have a representation of God. Where is it? I want to make sure I get it right. A smoking fire pot with a flaming torch. So smoke and fire. Notice that. Smoke and fire, which often represent God. We have the pillar of smoke and we have the pillar of fire. They represent the presence of God. So it starts here with Abraham. We could even go back further. The Spirit of God hovering over the depth of the surface of the waters. We have that a couple of times. We have smoke and we have fire as well, which represent the presence of the Spirit of God. So it passes between the animal parts. Notice Abram doesn't do this. This is a covenant that God is giving to Abram, that I will do these things for you. And then we get mention of the description of the land very briefly from here to here, from end to end. And then we mention the people that are in the land. All right, any further thoughts on this section here? Picasso, not as numerous, but it says, oops. Oh, we got a raid. Assassinator